A new report just issued by NOAA says September's Arctic sea ice coverage was about 25% less than it was between 1981 and 2010. As America's only Arctic state, Alaska today faces unique challenges. One of those is the loss of permafrost, frozen earth that serves as a foundation for huge portions of the state. As we discovered on a recent trip to Alaska, the permafrost is thawing, presenting multiple threats.
Degradation is underway.
For the past decade, Sue Natali of the Woods Hole Research Center has been taking trips like this, deep into the remote corners of Alaska's wilderness.
This area has been thawing for several decades now.
Her mission? Monitor how warming air temperatures are impacting the frozen earth underground.
We've come up via helicopter to see the Alaskan tundra from above. Right now, we're not far from Denali National Park. About 25% of the northern hemisphere land area includes permafrost.
Permafrost is frozen ground. It's ground that remains below 0 degrees Celsius for 2 or more consecutive years.
Water, rocks, soil.
Everything in that ground that's frozen is permafrost.
But that term is actually misleading because, as Natali and other field scientists are learning,
You find a good flat spot.
the icy soil buried under this spongy moss is anything but permanent.
I'm going to dig a hole.
Recent studies show Arctic permafrost has warmed by up to 2 degrees Celsius in the past 3 decades and predict that 20% of it may thaw by 2040. Natali uses this drill to extract permafrost, which starts a few feet under the surface and can extend hundreds of feet down. It contains organic material from dead and partially decayed plants and animals. This is a permafrost core.
Yeah, this is how we sample permafrost.
Some of it's been frozen for thousands of years, but as it thaws, that organic material releases gases like methane and carbon dioxide, the so-called greenhouse gases that warm the atmosphere.
Our projections say for the larger permafrost region is we can expect 150 billion tons of carbon to be released by 2100.
Based on current emissions, the U.S. is already expected to release that much carbon over the same time period just by burning fossil fuels. This thawing permafrost would effectively double that figure.
We're inside the permafrost tunnel, so we're walking inside of permafrost.
The best view of permafrost does come from underground. In this 50-year-old tunnel, built and maintained by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers just outside Fairbanks.
You can see there are these massive frozen structures that have formed over tens of thousands of years.
Down here, it's easy to visualize another danger posed by thawing ground.
And you can imagine if the permafrost thaws and this really large ice wedge here melts out, that you're going to have some pretty substantial ground collapse.
It's already happening in Alaska. Forests of trees bent or toppled over, roads like roller coaster tracks, even neighborhoods of homes buckling into uneven ground.
So originally the surface was flat.
University of Alaska researcher Alexander Kolodov studies permafrost loss using hundreds of sensors around the northern hemisphere. He says the data from almost all those stations points to the same trend.
It is really warm, so it's really close to freezing point. So it's actually very, very vulnerable now.
You're right on the line there.
Yes, we are right on the line now, on the borderline.
Another possible side effect of permafrost loss, thawing remains of long-dead animals could release dormant diseases. Last summer, the first fatal Russian outbreak of anthrax in 75 years killed a child and sickened 20. But the more immediate impacts remain the rapid release of methane and carbon dioxide, and of course, if your house or your business is built on permafrost.
Fascinating.
It is fascinating, Norah, because I'm thinking we're just walking around living our lives. I've never heard the word permafrost really until today. And it's nice to know that there's people out there bringing it to our attention, like yourself and those researchers, to say, people, we need to do something about this.
Every day doing
One of the most amazing states in the world, in the country, isn't it?
Alaska is
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yep. Such a beautiful
Really
place.